Whitebeard is the best Yonko, and it's not even close. But let me explain. At this point in the story, we know all about the Yonko system, all of the current and past Yonkos, with even our MC Luffy being one himself. We've gotten a good enough look at all the Yonko to know exactly where they stand for the most part. There are some who believe that the Yonko system doesn't hold as much weight as it used to, and a lot of this really started when Luffy was dubbed the 5th Yonko. This was done by Big News Morgans after Luffy defeated Dofi, but it really ramped up after Big Mom and Kaido fell and Buggy became a Yonko. And we all know he's a fraud, but we know it always wasn't this way. When we first met Whitebeard, he was a sickly looking old man with an oxygen tank. That being said, he still loomed over everyone on his ship, including Shanks. We didn't know to what extent, but we could tell from the small introduction that he had a certain presence and air about himself. He just oozed power, strength, and just a kingly vibe. But even with that, there was still so much more to him. Leading up to the Marineford War, just seeing how the Marines were scrambling to prepare for just one Yonko, gathering every bit of strength they had, really made me wonder just how powerful is this old guy. Of course, old man in anime, but still. When he showed up with not only his own crew, but 16 division commanders with their own crews and ships, it was insane. Just the thought that one person could command such a fleet of people, let alone pirates who have their own goals and ambitions, was amazing. Keep in mind, this is the first Yonko we got to see up close and personal in depth, and it left a mark. Before we got to see him fight or even got his full backstory, he stamped what it meant to be a Yonko. You had this 72-year-old man tearing through the battlefield at will. Every step he took and every attack he made had impact. He truly showed what it means when a Yonko decides to make a move and shake up the world. We saw just how much of a threat the Marines deemed him to be, even at this old age, way out of his prime. He had been stabbed, shot, attacked, and even had half of his face blown off, and yet he still refused to falter. For myself and many others, he simply is the embodiment of what it means to be a Yonko. He did it the longest, he did it the best, and he did it at the highest level. He even had the opportunity to do what every other Yonko dreams about, and that's to find the One Piece. He turned it down as that literally was something he did not care about. In all actuality, he already achieved his dream, which was to create his own family. He was the only other pirate that the king of the pirates ever saw as an actual equal and on his level. Every goal and dream he had, he achieved. When we see him at Marineford, he only has one goal, and that's to push the next generation forward to their goals and dreams and to usher in the new dawn. And in the end, he even achieved that goal. It may not have been through the original vessel he might have thought, but it remains the same. I can hear some of you already saying that he wasn't the strongest Yonko when he died, and I agree with you. I'm not saying that either. Of course, Whitebeard wasn't the strongest, fastest, or most powerful Yonko at the time of Marineford. The man was 72 years old, had a heart attack, and was damn near on life support. What I'm saying, however, is he did it the best. Whitebeard not only showed what it meant to be a Yonko, but he proved and embodied it. He became the gold standard and set the bar so high in terms of the total package when it comes to being Yonko that I honestly feel like it still hasn't been reached to this day in the story. From what we've seen of Big Mom and Kaido, yes, they were powerful, had tons of territory, were feared, had tons of people up under them, but to me it feels like they never quite hit the ceiling that Whitebeard set. It's not like the other Yonko aren't great in their own right. They absolutely are. It's that the other individual Yonko more so highlight different aspects of being the Yonko. Kaido with his monstrous power, Big Mom with her massive territory, Luffy with his ability to draw others in, and Blackbeard with his fear he instills in people. Whitebeard is just a total package and encapsulates all of those aspects. The Yonko who comes the closest in my opinion is Shanks. I say all that not to say that it still can't happen in the story. We know that Shanks is incredible and he gets more and more better each time we see him. Then there's Luffy, who is our MC, and we know that by the end of the story, he will most likely go down as the greatest pirate ever. I don't think anyone expects Buggy to become a high caliber Yonko, but he will be great in his own right. And as for Blackbeard, of course he will not. That's basically the whole point of Whitebeard's speech to him in the end. Overall, when it comes to Yonko and what it means to the story of One Piece, Whitebeard set the pace and tempo for it. Oda did such a masterful job not only crafting the Yonko system, but introducing and rolling it out. Overall, when we meet Whitebeard, he wasn't the fastest or strongest Yonko, but he was the best at it. He showed us what it truly means to be called a Yonko and the weight that comes with that title. No one quite carried that name like him, but I'm interested to know what you think. Who is your favorite Yonko? If you made it this far, thanks for watching and see you in the comment section.